You think the Russians want to march across Europe?
100% not. I think.
Right. I feel like, why would they want that? I wouldn't want those countries. Like, why would they?
They've reclaimed these 5 regions. They have Crimea, and they've gotten what they want. So why do they need more? He said, Putin's a very smart guy.
My friends, in a recent interview with Tucker Carlson, Steve Witkoff revealed the biggest obstacle that's holding up the Russian-Ukraine peace deal. His words unleashed an absolute flurry of anger and frustration from Western mainstream media. So why don't we take this opportunity and listen to what Steve Witkoff actually said that made the Europeans and the Ukrainians so angry. Together, shall we?
I don't regard Putin as a bad guy. That is a complicated situation, that war, and all the ingredients that led up to it. It's, it's never just one person.
Putin, who's been in power 25 years, has been consistent for the whole duration of his presidency in one demand, which is that NATO stop encroaching on its borders, and specifically that Ukraine, which is the largest country that borders Russia, not be in NATO. And that is my understanding, my certainty is that still remains the central demand, period. No, Ukraine and NATO can't have peace without that.
Well, first of all, I think the largest issue in that conflict are these so-called 4 regions, Donbass, Crimea, the names, Lugansk, and there's 2 others. They're Russian-speaking.
Yep.
There have been referendums where the overwhelming majority of the people have indicated that they want to be under Russian rule.
Yes.
I think that's the key issue in the conflict. So that's the first thing. That when that gets settled, and we're having very, very positive conversations.
And Russia controls that. In fact, some of those territories are now, from the Russian perspective, part of Russia.
Correct. That's correct. But this has always been the issue,
right?
And it's sort of no one wants to talk about it. That's the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is there are constitutional issues within Ukraine as to what they can concede to with regard to giving up territory. The Russians are de facto in control of these territories.
Yes.
The question is, will they be? Will the world acknowledge that those are Russian territories? Will it end up? Can Zelensky survive politically if he acknowledges this? This is the central issue in the conflict. Absolutely.
My friends, to me it looks like the Trump administration and the United States as a whole truly understand Russia's frustration. And if this dialogue continues to improve, I believe it's only a matter of time until we see real rapprochement between the USA and Russia, much to the detriment of the EU's geopolitical relevance. But anyway, look, I want to know your opinion. Do you agree with Steve Witkoff's analysis? I encourage you to watch the whole interview. Let me